Multiply and divide complex numbers. Student learning objectives. Multiply complex numbers. 2. Evaluate complex numbers of the form I to the power of n. 3. Divide complex numbers. Multiply complex numbers. To multiply complex numbers, use the FOIL method or the distributive property. Example, multiply 2i times 5 minus 3i. We use the distributive property here. So this here is 10i minus 6i squared. This is equal to 10i minus I squared is negative 1 minus 6 times negative 1, which is equal to negative 6 minus 1 is 6 plus 10i. Number 2, multiply 1 plus I times 3 plus 2i. We use FOIL here. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2i is 2i. I times 3 is 3i. I times 2i is 2i squared. This here is equal to 3 plus 5i. 2i plus 3i is 5i. Plus 2 times I squared is negative 1. So this here is equal to 3 minus 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So 3 minus negative 2 is 1 plus 5i. Evaluate a complex number of the form I to the power of n. Example, evaluate I to the power of 81. We said I is equal to square root of negative 1, and I squared is equal to negative 1. So rewrite 81 as I to the power of 80 times I, which is equal to, we can rewrite I to the power of 80 as I squared times to the power of 40, and then times I. And this is equal to I squared is negative 1 to the power of 40 times I. This is equal to, we multiply negative 1 to itself 40 times. 40 is an even number. So multiplying a negative number to itself, even number of times, the result is positive. So it's 1. So this is I. I to the power of 38. This rewrite it as I to the power of 2 to the power of 19. 2 times 19 is 38. I squared is negative 1 and to the power of 19. We are raising negative number to a power that is an odd number. So we're multiplying negative 1 to itself an odd number of times. So this is a negative number. So this is negative 1. Conjugate of a complex number. The conjugate of the complex number a plus bi is a minus bi. And the conjugate of the complex number a plus bi is a minus bi. Note, the result of multiplying a complex number by its conjugate is a real number. Divide complex numbers. To divide complex numbers, multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. Example, divide 2 minus 3i by 3 plus 5i. So we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. That's how we divide. So times 3 minus 5i over 3 minus 5i. We FOIL. This is equal to 6 minus 10i minus 9i plus 15i squared over, the denominator is 9 minus 15i plus 15i minus 25i squared. This is equal to 6 minus 19i. I squared is negative 1 times 15 is negative 15 over 9 minus 15i plus 15i is 0 minus 25 times I squared. I squared is negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 25 is 25. This here is equal to 6 minus 15 is minus 9 minus 19i over 9 plus 25 is 34. So we write this as minus 9 over 34 minus 19 over 34i. Final answer. Divide I minus 2i by I. The conjugate of I is 0 plus I. The conjugate of 0 plus I is 0 minus I. So we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of I. So this becomes 1 plus 2i over I times minus I over minus I. This is equal to, we distribute minus I times 1 minus I times 2i minus 2i squared over I times I is I squared and the minus. This here is equal to minus I times minus 2 times I squared is negative 1 over minus times I squared is negative 1. This here is equal to negative 2 times negative 1 is 2, and then minus I. In the denominator, negative 1 times negative is positive 1, so 2 minus I.